Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feed, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign, strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt.
Nah, that you wanna
Blooming under pressure, resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign, strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Nah, that you wanna
Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser.
Nah, that you
Reign, strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Hello, everybody. Hello to Mr. Dallas who jumped in the chat, and to all my cloud-dwelling people who are interested in hearing what I have to say today, but are listening with their ears and not with their typing fingers. Hopefully, you guys are going to enjoy the show today. That being said, I have a particular subject that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about it seriously. Because the problem with trolling, and I'll say this, the biggest issue with trolling is that people seem to think that the opinions and biases and information that people have are, when they're trolling, are not legitimate, they're not based in reality, things like that. Hey Tita C, what's going on, boo? Thank you for joining my stream today. Hey April Carter, she says, hey Flo, hey, what's going on, boo? Now, the reason why I wanted to do this stream was because of my observation as a whole, right? I am a person who supports and condones and, financially supports channels of people who have a message. They have something to say. I can probably say for the majority, a very small portion, I was probably being a little dusty. But the majority of the time that I've spent online was due to actually seeing something and wanting to change something. Now, I have personally seen people troll using Black culture. I've seen people race bait using Black culture. I've seen people, and when I'm talking about race baiting, I'm not just talking about white people, right? Because when Black people get online and they say degenerative things, or for example, they pay a bandit to sit on their panel for 6 hours in a day and say every degenerate thing that comes to his mind, that is a contribution that a person of color, Black person specifically, is making to degeneracy. And so I've been online, you guys, most of you know, at least for a couple of years, right? Consuming this dusty network. But prior to that, I wasn't. But I was so curious why people who state that they want to see Black excellence, that they want better for Black people, will display such degeneracy online. All right, I'm starting with Ginga today, guys, because Ginga or Ginga, whatever the fuck his name is, sorry guys, we're past 7 minutes. Ginga is this typical Black male that we see online. And when I say typical, I'm talking about the negative energy, the anger, the disrespect, right? All of that combined in one, right? Ginga, whatever the fuck his name is again, fits perfectly into that, right? How many of us ladies, and let's be honest, my Black sisters, right? How many of us have been online having regular conversations or spouting pretty regular opinions, right? That if it was another colored person, would be perfectly okay. And next thing you know, you have a bandit stalking you, calling you names, looking for your social media, being just degenerate in any possible way that he can, right? This is a theme. The same goes for Myron Gaines, right? When he invited Black women to his panels. I'm sorry, April said he's not attractive enough. But when when Myron Gaines, who I also feel is not attractive enough, when he invited Black women to his panels, the energy that he gave those women was so aggressive and disgusting, similar to this bandit here, right? Where he's not even an attractive or select Black male, right? But he spends a lot of his time online discussing the characteristics of what he believes are Black women's characteristics. He will talk about how bad Black women are. He'll say he loves his mama, but then disparage her left and right and left and right, right? Because Ginga is going to talk about his mother, and he has something in common with even the lowest bandits online, right? That he hates his mother. I don't like the way she moves. When we hear this bandit talk, I don't like the way she moves. That's how he describes his mother. Even if I don't like something that my mother does, why would you get on the internet and try to disparage a person who not only let you slide out of her birth canal, but she raised you enough so you can sit your funky ass, ginger ass on a panel and talk about her in such a disparaging way? So we're going to get into all of that tonight. All of it. I have so much to share with you guys because I'm just so sick and fucking tired of people acting like they don't understand why the world sometimes will see Black people as degenerates. Do I believe that those Black people who do that are a representation of Black people in America? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if we all get up on here like chaotic truth, tap dancing, twerking ass, and pay and prop up these degenerates in order to make our individual selves, right, look better, look good, look desirable even, what kind of community are we going to be left to? Dita says a stalking bandit. Listen, majority of these bandits stalk. I'm gonna just say this. I posted it on my story today. I was so surprised about that singer having a child, a dead corpse of a child in his vehicle. But then again, if you go back to black culture and how a lot of these bandits get online and tell women that they should seek out these weird older ass males who have not nasty intentions for them, right? I started thinking, like, of course, a degenerate bandit like this would put everything in his life at risk, would do anything to be able to exert some level of power over a young girl like this. So we're going to go over that case tomorrow. I don't want to bring that into this, but I was looking into that case, and the fact that this girl was 13 years old when she went missing from her home, and the fact that she's associated with a dusty black male singer, I was livid and disgusted, and I almost changed the stream into talking about that case. But we still have to talk about degenerate culture in the black community. Now, this is one thing I am going to say, right? I definitely don't put myself in a category with the JPs of the world. And I'm not saying this to disparage him, right? Because at some point, I stupidly believes that he would be able to rise to the occasion with enough influence, with enough support. He would be able to rise to the occasion. That is a mistake. That was a mistaken mindset that I think a lot of black women, especially black people, take on as it relates to the culture and the mindset of black males. And I'm saying this because you can't point to a village of black girls and say that they're doing the same thing to the extent that black men are, right? First, there's a gender difference, but there's also a behavioral difference. April says, wait, what singer? I need to know if I have him on my playlist. His name kind of like with the letter 4 it spells out David, but it's D4VD, right? A 15-year-old girl's deceased body was found in his Tesla, a Tesla that was registered to him. Very, very despicable. I mean, to me, once we get into that case, I know that I'm going to get emotional and upset because I'm so sick and tired of people acting like these weird ass males that they're encouraging online to be funny and disgusting, that they're not going out into the real world and trying to deal with young women, right? That's a general theme that we've gotten from men online. So we're going to go into that case, but I really, really don't want to crash out because I was reading about that and I got pissed off. Especially the fact that he's no longer a suspect. A man who wrote a love letter to a 13-year-old, like, anyways. No, not all black males. Of course not, Gito. But if you want me to get up here and say not all, you're going to get tired, right? Because if it does not apply to you, that's okay. But to act like the culture doesn't permeate our, to that mindset, to act like that mindset doesn't permeate our cultures would be a lie. Right? That mindset that like having a younger woman is better than having a mature legal adult who can consent to what it is that you want to do with them, right? Listen, April, I'm just saying, like, sometimes people get mad at me for like the type of cases I cover, but when I tell you I'm sick and fucking tired of these men getting on panels to act like when they're talking about men to go get younger women that they're not talking about underage women, a lot of the time that's exactly what they're talking about. Right? Because a woman like myself in my 30s is not going to fall for a dusty. Right? I'm not going to stay there with a dusty. I'm not going to let a dusty have total and complete control over my life, no matter what anybody thinks about me. Right? No matter what mistakes I made. Right? The reason why I'm at where I'm at is because I would never allow that. But do I think a 22-year-old girl or a 21-year-old girl or a 17-year-old girl will be able to resist the debauchery that is coming from some of these men? No, I'm not going to even sit here and lie and act like I believe that. Right? So we are going to focus on the actual case. but it triggered me so much that I was like, nah, if I change the subject, it's gonna be a complete, like, me just cussing and being upset about this fucking dirty ass man being associated with a 13-year-old, much less a girl who aged while she was away from her own family, right? She aged 2 years. She went 2 years without having a happy birthday or without having family around to tell her that her decisions might not lead to safety. So, anyways, let's move on, because if I get too much into that, I'm going to get mad, right? And this is really going to be a crime channel. We're not talking about shit other than gruesome crime, because I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of women having to be at the behest of men, and then people acting like that's not a real danger that we face every day as women. That as if that's not the reason why so many women are choosing to stay away from men. But anyways, April said if the shoe doesn't fit, then why wear it? It's definitely not all. But we're not going to act as if there aren't any sick ass men out here. There's a lot of them, April. I'm telling, there's so many, and they hide in plain sight. Right, they hide among the Gingas, and I'm not accusing him particularly of having an underage girlfriend, but I'm telling you, these type of men hide under the umbrellas that people create for them. There's no other legitimate reason for this man to be connected to a 13-year-old, her deceased body. There's no other reason, and I don't care if she was 15 when they found her. When she left her family, she was 13 years old, and I'm so much more passionate about that than I am some fucking stupid ass ginger bandit. So let's get into it before the direction of the stream changes. All right, let's get into it.
Nah, that. You want to? No. Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot.
It's not a choice. I'm gonna just say, the men who sit here and loud and yell about why they don't date black women, it is not a choice. Right? The black women they want nothing to do with them. Yeah. Gito, don't even start me. You know I'm gonna get pissed off. You know I'm gonna get pissed off. Matching tattoos. Wrote her letters when she was young. I'm trying to stay on topic, but whew. Oh, Ginga. Is it Ginga? No. Ginga? I think his name is Ginga. But notice how all those women are laughing. Right? So these men who get on here and act like women, black women specifically, are refusing to deal with them. No, a lot of us still try to give you a chance, and this is the degeneracy that we come up on. It is sick as hell for a grown man to be having any dealings with a whole teenager, a minor. He wrote a song about her, April. So for me, the fact that he was cleared, when there's music that he wrote showing that he's obsessed with her, matching tattoos, her body was found in a car registered to him. I don't care if he didn't do it. He likely was involved, right? Try not to get triggered. No, just said this dude turned into the type of person he don't like. Exactly. He's always crying about what black women were saying on his panels and stuff like that. But as soon as he got mad, look how he raged out. And of course, his target was a black woman, right?
I don't like to listen. I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you
place?
get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were
You're not
cheating
a
on
man.
you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in your place.
Cheated on you multiple
black women.
times.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I know.
you
And
put
that's
no one
why
in
I'm
their
never going to
place.
be in your
That's why you
ever
have to
again.
dip out
Yeah,
the pool.
I'm not with
Because
black
you
women
control
because you don't like to
nobody.
get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
Apologies where?
Apologies.
Oh wait, you just wait. Did she just shoot? Did she just shoot?
See, this is what I'm saying, right? You can't have a level of conflict resolution with some of these bandits, because even if you fess up, right? Even if you say, all right, you don't like what I'm saying, fine, we good, right? She's saying apologies in a beautiful British accent. But because of the anger that's already festering inside of him, he can't even hear her. Let's continue.
Kind of bullshit.
Go, where's your hair? Where's your hair? Where's your hair?
Once you talk about black women's hair, you're on your own, my guy. You're on your own.
Listen, it's not even just talking about black women's hair. right? Because even though this guy was attempting to defend black women, right? It's not even about hair. It's the fact that you would bring up hair and then also at the same time claim that you are some type of black righteous man. If you were black and righteous, you would not make fun of the hair struggles that women have, right? The main reason why women have weaves and wigs on their hair is because of how we were treated when we had our afros. Yo, I'm not even light. Like seriously, I'm really not even light skinned. I'm in a light room right now. If I go outside with this versus straight hair, I get different treatment. That should tell you something about how this country has conditioned people to deal with the hair. Right? Braids. I was told by a man I dated a long time ago, because I don't date dumbass things like that anymore, at least. I was told a long time ago by a man that I dated that my hair as braids was childish. And I said, how is braids childish? Oh, only little kids wear it. I said, you know why black women wear braids? This man said, I don't care why they wear braids. You too grown to be doing that. Why don't you have your hair straightened? Why don't you have a silky wig or silky hair, whatever? And I'm just looking at this man wondering, does he realize that the words he's saying is actually comparable to him hating himself versus me? Notice said the man in the back, April said, wait, what? Let me know what you need clarification on. April said, meanwhile, his hair looked like the way it does. It's the audacity for me. Right. He got that nasty, matted ginger fro. He's about 4 feet, 3 inches high. And you know what pissed me off was finding out this is a jailbird. And I'm not talking about the black guy on screen right now. I'm talking about Ginga or Ginga, whatever the fuck his name is, Ginga. This man is a 10-year plus jailbird. A 10 plus year jailbird. A jailbird is talking about what she got on her head. I would be mad too. Exactly, April. Literally, sometimes I wake up and I want to do something different. Like I have braids right now because it's so easy and it's been warm. But when I tell you guys I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna come on here with a bust down 29-inch part, and I'm not gonna care what anybody in the chat has to say about it. I'm going to do it. Right? Because not only is it enjoyable for myself, right? I like having different versatile hairstyles, but there's also a difference in treatment. Whether black men want to address this or not, it's so easy to talk about what we have on our heads, but it's not easy to talk about how black men contribute to that, right? Because if we really had a strong group of males, we would have no need to put hair on our heads, right? To feel welcomed. I don't do it to feel welcomed. At this point, I want to look like a new bitch every day, right? I want to look like a new woman every day. And I'll put it like that. Not every day, but I like variety, right? That's not why I choose to do my hair differently, right? But let these bandits tell it. I'm doing it because I don't like looking black. Mind you, my group of women dates out the least, right? Prioritizes the black race the most. But I'm self-hating because of how I do my hair. Just let that sink in when we deal with some of these bandits.
I was with you. Like, he's allowed to have a preference. You know, he's trying to talk about how she's held him down and picking up his Asian queen. But the moment you went for the hair, my guy, you was on your own. You're going to have to deal with it. Yeah. You're going to have to deal with this by yourself, my brother.
Take off your head,
triggered.
Where's your hair?
You're triggered.
Where's your hair? I'm
You're
triggered.
supposed to hurt.
I said I was
You're
triggered.
triggered.
Did I not say I was
No.
triggered? Where's your hair?
No.
Where's your hair?
Look at where's your hair?
Show
Sorry, guys. The bad part is he's fully expecting her to be triggered by the hair comments. And he even admitted, oh yeah, I'm triggered. There's not a damn thing that a black man can say about weave, braids, wig, nothing. Especially not when you're the largest group of males that dates out the most. White men won't even betray their women who age very poorly the way black men do. Listen, April, some of them be having them perma hats on. You never see them without a baseball cap. That should be considered catfishing. Right? But they're worried about wigs and weaves and things like that. And a lot of times the women wearing wigs and weaves are just hiding hair they don't want to take care of. Right? 9 times out of 10. I was doing, before I did these braids here, You know, the real braidists, they take your hair out, or your hair is out, they pick it out, they blow dry it and do all types of. One lady told me, like, oh damn, we got to get a different type of blow dry for your hair. I said, damn, my hair is that rough? She said, no, it's just too long for this little one we usually use. And I'm like, why you guys don't have multiple different hairstyles? She said, oh no, we used to seeing short black hair. And I said, that must be your clientele. Because there are some women I know who have naturally long mid-back hair. I know a couple of women from the South with long natural hair like myself. Right? Long natural afro. But if all your clientele is bald-headed women, sure, maybe you might feel that way. April said, and even when wearing weaves and wigs, you have to take care of the hair underneath. Exactly. Or you're gonna be bald. Listen, you're married. Tell me. If you're married to a black woman, tell me how many times she changes her hair. It's a natural part now of how we play with our looks. Right? Because some people will tell me, oh, with straight hair, you look so different. Oh, with braids, you look so different. With your natural hair, you look so different. This is typical conversation that we hear over time. But let's get back to Ginga, or Ginga, whatever. He's trying to get this woman to be as triggered as him by talking about her hair. Luckily, she looks like a Gen Z.
Yeah.
No, he's
Show your hair.
brave. He's
Show your hair.
brave.
Take off your eyelash.
People, you're
Take off your eyelash.
You're pressed.
Take off your makeup.
You're pressed
I'll
because
bring
we got
watch it.
cheated on one,
No,
two,
yeah,
three,
yeah.
four.
Wait, watch
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Jumping.
And I'll bring my natural hair
Jumping.
Indian woman in here now.
And then what?
she looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your blood.
But the
Don't
crowd
shut
was
up, man.
silent. The crowd
Out
was
here with
silent.
fake hair, fake
The crowd was
eyelashes.
silent.
So now I wanted to start the conversation off with Ginga and other bandits on here, because how do we build a foundation for a healthy, strong black culture when the men who are supposed to be quote unquote leading, which we know they don't do, speak like this about their women? Let me play another video for you guys, right? Because Ginga, whatever, he didn't just crash out on camera. He crashed out when the cameras were no longer rolling as well. So let's get into that, all right? And now, y'all, I am no investigator. I cannot tell you if this man was truly upset, but I'm going to just tell you this, right? Crashing out like this is not a sign of unbotheredness.
Because they're black. I fucking told you, Carl. This fucking black thing fucking annoys me, bro. Black, I'm black, so you have to fucking know. No, I fucking don't. No, I fucking don't. Fucking black women. Also, always fucking black women on some high horse. Do some black woman shit. Do some black women shit to make me fucking respect you as a fucking black woman. You're all sitting there and ain't done shit for no fucking black woman in your life. The fuck out of here. Black women respect black women. You don't even fucking respect yourselves. You haven't even got fucking black extensions on your hair. The fuck we talking about? About I hate my mother. I hate black women. How can I hate black women when I just told you I come from one and I'm empress? My mum's an empress. I don't like the way how my mother moves. So why would I pick a woman that moves like my mother? The fuck are we talking about?
So, how is your mother an empress? And Miss Ginga, nobody turned this into me dragging nobody light skin mama or dark skin mama, whatever. But join us, Miss Ginga. Come to the beginning of the stage. If you are an empress to your son, right, or Mr. Ginga, if your mother is an empress, why does that allow you to go out there and treat other black women who look just like your mother like shit? Huh? Because really, if you valued what your mom looked like and who she was, you wouldn't take her image, which you see in other black women, including this woman who got your real image, and disparage it because of a woman. You wouldn't do that. So again, I want to ask, and I'm going to say this because I know a few tragic biracials as well, right, who come from self-hating black women. I'm not going to name them. I'm going to tell you they come from self-hating black women. They've told me themselves. I've seen it and observed it in other cases. Black women, if you have a struggle biracial, go and gather them. Go and gather them. This is the behavior of Dusties. This is the behavior of black males with white women having children. So if this is spilling now into black women who have children with white men, come and collect Ginga. Why is Ginga like this? Why is he yelling at unsuspecting black women who don't know him? We Unlock says, I wouldn't know and I wouldn't care because that's not a concern to me. I never cared about how a woman's hair looked. I'm glad that that's how you feel, but unfortunately, in black culture, and we're going to get into all of the minstrel show and all the nonsense that I see. I mean, I spent half an hour or an hour maybe at this point watching the most degenerate stream of somebody who everybody in this space said they hated, but they also bring him in to be a representation of such. Listen, they got to go and gather them, folks, because what I'm seeing is not cute. Gito says the picture of Anton Daniels you got in the beginning looks really sus. Why is lip perked out like that? Don't ask me, ask Anton. Anton be in them streams rubbing his head, perking his lips up, trying to look cute in the camera. He does all types of weird shit in the camera. That's been his thing, right? But a lot of masculine black men continue to follow him. So, what in the blue hell is wrong with this dude? Must be it must be. But let's hear him out.
But because we're black, I can't say that, right? And because I'm a black thing, I can't talk about black women like that, right? And I can't take out my race, right? Because I'm black. Fuck that, take your black shit to yourself, man. Take your black shit home. Like, I'm not black, I'm fully black. My parents are black, darker than you, my boy.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't care how dark skinned your parents are. Let me just give you a public service announcement for everybody who refused to tell you this. I don't care how black your light-skinned parents are. I don't care if your mother was dark and she went and found the lightest man she can reproduce in. Right? It doesn't matter. If you're on here online talking to black women like this, but also representing black men as having as much vitriol as you have towards the race of women, then I'm straight. I'm breezy. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Right? Because there are so many men who have no business acting the way they are, acting that way. So I'm not going to personally act like this is a black man, but I'm going to tell you, a lot of these black male adjacent people, like himself, will act like this when they're mad at you.
Fucking black women always do this shit. I'm a black woman, so you must hate me because you don't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck you. Who was it? Because you don't fucking behave yourself. No. Black woman, fucking behave yourself. I know. So I'm gonna fuck you. You don't have to fucking behave yourself. Sit the fuck down. Shut up. I'm talking to you. Who you talking to? I'll call my brothers. Call your brother. I'll wet him up now. And they call their brothers, and what happens? You've now got beef with the family because she's got brothers, and they taught her how to be a bad girl.
I don't know if you said that.
I'm a chatting shit. And then now you've got a baby man, you've got beef with her family. I'm a chatting shit. Because you're a black woman, and she's a black woman. And because she's a black woman, we have to take it. You black bitch, shit the fuck down. I'll know everyone in your family.
See, this is what I'm saying right here, right? First of all, shout out to that light-skinned man who looked right into that camera and knew he was being recorded and started laughing instead of telling him to calm the fuck down, right? I'm gonna take this moment to tell you, Ginga, or whatever the fuck your name is, if you don't already know, you don't have friends. You don't have friends. Because friends who cared about you and cared about what you're saying would not encourage you to be a degenerate bastard online and call black women names and all types of we would never do that, right? So whoever is encouraging you to do that is not your friend. April says Ginger needs a blunt. He needs to calm the hell down. He got internalized racial misogyny. He certainly does. And honestly, Gito, I'm glad that you brought that up, right? Because the language and terminology that he's using is indicative of some type of prejudice towards not only black women, but just the black community in general. right? And the reason why I'm saying prejudice is because why the hell are you saying I'm not black and then you change it into my parents are black as hell? So the pigment on their skin is more important to you, right? It's not their values or their culture. I find it so funny when certain black people get on here and be like, "Oh, I'm blue black." Okay, that's your pigment. And what's your mindset like? How do you treat people who look like you? I don't give a fuck what your color is. I don't care if you are black as this backpack. I don't care. What's your mindset? Like, it's ridiculous that he's trying to equate a shade of black to how culturally black he is, and that's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. April says, but let a black man call his mother out her name. Right. See, this is the thing that they don't, this is the double standards that they don't want to acknowledge as well, April. Right? They let these biracial people talk crazy. They let biracial women talk crazy as well. But biracial men, also, they let everybody talk crazy. But trust me, if a ninja gets on here talking about, oh, my mama this, my mama that, much more people are willing to call it out. Gito says $100. I bet he got played or mocked by black girls in his childhood. Don't even go as far as his childhood. He talked about, man, we finna get into it because I didn't want to go too far into it, but we're gonna go into it because Mr. Dusty got a fiance, and because he got a fiance, he feels like he's above black women now. So let's get into it. April, listen, I'm trying to keep it on the low, but yeah, most of us know. We know he was not getting the women he wanted. That's why he's so bad. So let me share this stream here. Now this is a little bit the conversation that he's had with multiple black women have kind of taken legs of its own. All right, so let's go into when he was on 20v1 Pop the Balloon type show. That's not the same as Arlette and her husband, right? They're not just going to let any old bandit on. Actually, they don't even let just any old person review anymore. But he was on that 20 verse 1, so let's hear it.
They just said yes and no. It's because I addressed them respectfully. And that comes with a man with dominance and knows how to address women and knows how to speak to them. Do you see how you stopped? You see how you said you would never stop to speak to a man? Because you're letting me speak.
Because I'm letting you speak. Because I'm not the type of person to cut you off because you disrespectfully cut me off before I even finish speaking. So I'm not going to be going back and forth with you because that's very childish. And
It's not childish. We're having a discussion.
No, going back and forth because you didn't let me speak.
Because it was time to cut you off. That's what men do.
So why are you cutting me off?
Because you was.
Who does that? That is childish. That is childish.
Did you stop when I cut you off?
That is childish.
Okay.
Yes, I did, and I listened to you because that's respectful.
What did you say?
I'm respectful. No, because I'm respectful.
Exactly, and that is
But
what
you're
it
not
needed.
respectful. You're disrespectful because you feel like because you're a man, you have the right to speak over me, and I just should just shut up and let you speak.
Oh yeah, in this tone. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we ain't moving on.
Right? So Ginga is sorry guys, I'm over here. Ginga has been on these panels. Right? The main thing that I realized, guys, when I looked at more into this, yellow redhead Dusty, is that I realized he's not new to panels. Right? This behavior where he gets on panels and he disparages women is not new at all. It's not new. It's behavior of his that's very on brand with how he usually acts. So he said that's what men do, cut women off. Got it? Yeah. He's literally trying to say that the whole reason why he dislikes this woman and her attitudes because when a man stops talking, she's supposed to shut the fuck up, right? That's the culture he grew up in. So I want to meet his mammy. Because why did you teach this dusty young man that? And now, if we sat here and we listened to his mammy, I believe she wouldn't say that. I believe she would not say that, oh, I raised a boy like, no, she didn't raise no Dusty like this. She raised him to have manners and be polite, but because the internet pays, he decided to act another way. Now, let's move off of Ginga. Actually, let's go one more stream where he starts to attack the wigs. We're going to look at this one last one here because really, when he talks about his Indian baddie, right? When he talks about her hair and all this stuff, he's just telling you how much he hates being black. So let us just see this last stream or clip here, right? Because it's really just a clip where he's talking about women's weaves, and he has some interesting moments where he's also dealing with women's weaves. So let's get into it.
Women, because you don't like to get put in your place. Where's your hair?
When my foot is on top of your shoulder, are you complaining? No, you're not.
Nigga, it's Shirley Ray Curly. Now let's go home to your mama and let me show you what we doing playing.
So do we not?
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Sorry, guys. So you see how she's holding on to her wig? I'm gonna just say this, and I'm not trying to clown here, but I truly believe that this woman is holding on to her wig because she was afraid that Ginga was gonna come for it next. Right? That Ginga was gonna come and try to snatch that wig off her head and put it back on his. Let's rewatch the last 15 seconds about why this man is constantly talking about wigs.
Where's your hair?
When my foot is on top of your shoulder, are you complaining? No, you're not.
Nigga, it's Shirley Ray Curly. Now let's go home to your mama and let me show you what we doing playing.
And you know, the funny part about all this, hold on.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
So I can't stand TikTok sometimes. The funny thing is that they act like when black men are wearing wigs and dresses and other feminine things, right? It is specifically done because of the white establishment, right? But did you guys see Ginga being forced by people to put on a wig? I don't think let's see this one more time for the road, and I will move on to degenerate black culture. Let's get into it.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place. Where's your hair?
When my foot is on top of your shoulder, are you complaining? No, you're not.
Nigga, it's Shirley Ray Curly. Now let's go home to your mama and let me show you what we doing playing.
All right. So, anyways, Ginga is typical bandits, right? This is typical bandit behavior. Okay, so I'm so sorry, guys. The reason why I'm going to play another Ginga clip is because somebody who told me about Ginga and his issues with black women sent me a clip. So this clip is about why Ginga hates black women for real. Why he Oops, sorry. This video that I'm about to play for you guys is the real reason why this man Ginga hates black women. And I understand, a lot of us move off of trauma, things that we've gone through, right? But we're gonna go into this one because I don't understand Ginga J, right? You have a black mother. That mother tried her best to raise you. Okay, maybe she wasn't able to keep your dad around and your dad wasn't able to be a good man. But to still have angry hatred for black women, there's something going on beneath the surface. So let's get into this one here. Obviously, the black content creators who value their black audience are going to speak on Ginga because he specifically targeted black women. So let's get into this.
For beautiful black women online.
And before that, the black women that I had dated and been in relationship with either treated me like shit and thought I didn't realize it, or expected way too much of me because I'm a black king and I wasn't living up to it, and ended up cheating on me anyway.
So how is expecting too much of you? What does that mean? For me, this is a subjective term, right? If I expect you to get up and go to work every day, right? A bandit like this will take that and call it expecting too much of you. If I expect you to pay your bills on time, a bandit like this might get up and say, these people want to hurt you. But let's really get into what that means for Ginga.
Anyway, and doing some madness. And then when I still chasing black women, and the women that I am in contact with, the contact I'm getting back isn't actual proper conversation. And I'm seeing that they are wanting and expecting so much more. And it must be the specific black women that I was seeing or that I was talking to.
She's in the wrong
black women are no, watch this. I wasn't picking them.
You might not agree with what he's saying, but this is what he feels. I want you to understand he's done 11 and a half years in prison. And then he's been in relationships in jail. He's been cheated on or he's had a bad experience. So in his head now, he's like, this is trauma here. My heart got broken. The most vulnerable space where a man can be is in prison, being in a relationship.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, this is something that men have to understand, right? When you go to jail and you leave your woman vulnerable to the world, to whatever, don't expect loyalty. And I'm not saying that because women are just out here hopping on the next D right away, but I'm just saying that because it's like, what sense does it make for you to not be able to provide that safety or anything, but then expect that as soon as she leaves you, she has that? I mean, it's ridiculous, right? People have a right to protect themselves. But if you were the main one causing a lot of issues, I don't get that. April says, how I'll cheat. Oh, she said, hell, I'll cheat on his ass too. He needs to work on outside missing tooth he got before he starts bumping his gums about black women. That's a serious, serious thing that he needs to work on. Because I noticed that when you bump your gums, there's some damage that happens to your teeth. And so he would be better off not doing more damage to his teeth. Gito says 11 years, yeah, just break up. Yeah, because it's, I don't think everything needs to be reconciled, right? Every relationship that you fall out of doesn't need to be reconciled. You don't have to come to a perfect conclusion, right? Sometimes you just leave somebody, and that's all there is to it. All right. So obviously, we were looking at the stream where Ginga talked about some different reasons why he doesn't like black women. And one of them being that when he was in prison, he cheated on a woman, or a woman cheated on him. All right. So let's get into a little bit of this. It is in Spanish, guys. So I can't do the best job of translating, but I'll certainly try.
He's never ever come for beautiful black women online.
And before that, the black women that I had dated and been in relationship with either treated me like shit and thought I didn't realize it, or expected way too much of me because I'm a black king and I wasn't living up to it, and end up cheating on me anyway and doing some madness. And then when I when I'm still chasing black women, and the women that I am in contact with, the contact I'm getting back isn't actual proper conversation, and I'm seeing that they are wanting and expecting so much more. And it must be the specific black women that I was seeing or that I was talking to.
She's in the wrong.
Black women are no good.
No, watch this. I wasn't picking them.
You might not agree with what he's saying, but this is what he feels. I want you to understand he's done 11 and a half years in prison. And then he's been in relationships in jail. He's been cheated on or he's had a bad experience. So in his head now, he's like, this is trauma here. My heart got broken. The most vulnerable space where a man can be is in prison, being in a relationship.
Yeah, and it's not like people can't have sympathy for him, but this is the problem where we start to have conversations like this, right? Because we have people who are they're not really out here subjecting themselves to 100 partners. They're not really out here having a bunch of baby daddies. For example, I didn't allow the person that I was with to impregnate me, right? And so that allowed that person to go from channel to channel, YouTube section to YouTube section, telling people that I am infertile. Right? That's like that's like telling me, oh, your penis doesn't work because you didn't get an STD from a bitch that you knew who had an STD. Like, that's not how things work, right? A lot of us, we might try to make concessions, we might look for excuses, but you don't get to tell a woman that she's infertile because she don't want to have your raggedy ass baby, right? But that is absolutely what people will do in spaces like this one and other types of spaces, right? So, anyways, this is a 11-year jailbird that if you didn't know. So, if you guys were internalizing what this bandit was saying based off of whatever you think that he's experienced or whatever, you thought wrong. All right, so we're going to move on to one of the community's favorite degenerates. His name is Anton Daniels. And the reason why I chose to include Anton Daniels is because, one, he has had access to several different bed bugs and different creatures who have been online acting like the situations that they've had were the best ever, right? And so, talking to the likes of the people who he's dealt with in the past, who now he's even scared to associate with, will tell you something about himself. For example, he got online lambasting people who had critique for Charlie Kirk and called Charlie Kirk honorable for his values, when Anton Daniels himself has sponsored men that me and the entire online community knows is not taking care of their children, right? So does that mean that Anton Daniels supports deadbeat degenerate fathers? It's up for debate, right? But based off of his perception, he thought he was losing, right? So we'll get into more of that as we hear the conversation, but do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. There's several Dusties on this panel. I'll call out a few of them, not to like be rude and mean, but just to show you guys, right? We have Lapeef Jr., definitely a dork, right? We have Mr. Let Go, complete dork, right? We have Anton Daniels being the dork. We have Lady Di, who is now transferred into a multifaceted dork demon mammy. And we have no one else of relevance, right? A bunch of people who get on these panels and play these type of games. But let's get into it, guys. How do we advise some of these early guests of Anton Daniels and his intentions to correct the Black community?
You know what I'm saying? I know that in order for me to be able to tell other people that they got to move a certain type of way, or to give them the blueprint on how it is that they can be successfully married, I have to be a reflection of the thing that I advocate for. So it's different from me. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that I don't love beautiful women around me. It don't mean that I'm not going to that I don't check out chicks or whatever, so on and so forth or whatever. I just don't believe that, they know.
Oh, we know. Anton, we know. Anton, we know. Not only did you run Fight Club and support it financially and encourage it, right? You also put your business online about who you were married to. So we all know Rita. And we all know Rita would have had to deal with your funky ass to stay married. So I'm also going to assume that Rita is a victim of yours. April says Mr. Let Go needs to clearly let it go, and that lady chick is aggravating as hell. Yeah, she reminds me of Security Boss or some of those other man-mays. I don't know what her origins are. This is an older video. Mr. Let Go has also let go as well. He doesn't go on a lot of these panels. But hold on. All right, sorry, y'all. Let's continue with the video.
Not worth my time. B, they ain't even close to the quality of the woman that I have. C, I also want to be the man that I would love for my daughter to marry. And then D, I have a higher expectation on my life, and I esteem myself greater than what normal people would esteem themselves. So I just hold myself to a higher standard than other people do.
Come on, man. Don't do that, Anton.
This real true.
Hold on. Let him push back. Let him push back.
That means his wife is doing a good job too. Just wanted to say.
I mean, I get it, man. Look, I commend you for all that, Anton. I commend you.
Here comes a butt, though.
Bruh. No, let him go. Let him rock.
You had the charm, and I'm not trying to take shots at it, but this shit is real. Charm and the height and all that, and the fitness and stuff that I had when I was 20. I was jumping over the rim, bro. I had this is in the gym trying to run.
I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this video because I feel like people are lying. The biggest lie I heard was that Bruiser actually believes that Anton Daniels was a tall, attractive man that will attract women. I don't believe that for him. I also believe that in this video, Ilkan Ali looks very fat and hormonal. But we'll leave it at that. Let's hear back a couple seconds, right, about what he believes about women.
Greater than what normal people would esteem themselves. So I just hold myself to a higher standard than other people do.
Come on, man. Don't do that, Anton.
This real true.
Hold on. Let him push back.
That means his wife is doing a good job too. Just wanted to say.
I mean, I get it, man. Look, I commend you for all that, Anton. I commend you.
Here comes a butt, though.
Bruh.
No, let him go. Let him rock.
You had the charm, and I'm not trying to take shots at, but
No, you
this
just
shit
say
is
whatever
real.
you want to say. Say whatever you want to say.
And the height and all that, and the fitness and stuff that I had when I was 20, I was jumping over the rim, bro. This is in the gym trying to run.
But why did you get married then, bro?
Bro, I'm saying I don't believe you. I get it. You established, you self-made from the jump. I don't believe that you had the amount of pressure I had. Because you said you had women running.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to say
Stop. Hey, Rita.
And you know, this is something that a lot of men like Bruiser do, right? Men like Bruiser will come around a ugly, dusty black bandit like Anton Daniels. And I'm not trying to be racial here, right? Guys, just hear me out. Right? Anton gets online and he acts like he's a very attractive black male with lots of money who is just waiting for black women to accept him for who he is so that he can bless the community. All right, let's be real here. Let's be 100% real. Not the case, right? Bruiser is a lackey of many sectors, right? Meaning he comes online and simply wants to make a spectacle of himself, whether that is through Black YouTube, whether that's in the political around. We unlocked, said Mr. Let Go, aka R. Kelly. Oh Lord, we're not gonna talk about that. We unlocked because we're not gonna get into that. We will get into that at a later date. I don't know what I just shut off, but it shut off for a brief second. Hopefully you guys didn't miss anything. But let's continue. 'Cause again, I don't want to get off track. April said, damn it, Flora, what did I do? What did I do already? We just started. We just started. Let's continue that.
They beating me up like I'm the villain. I don't think they had the same amount of pressure I had. That's what I'm saying.
Bruiser, you are the villain right now.
they have
No.
different goals.
You know the interesting thing about it is that people in the chat that know me in real life. They've known me over 25, 30 years. Come here, baby. What was I like in high school? In your opinion, honestly, what was I like in high school in your opinion?
Arrogant a-hole.
Why? Why was I arrogant?
We can't hear her. What she said?
He was an arrogant a-hole.
And why was I like that? Let me refine that. Have I ever in your life, honest to God, have I ever in your life ever had a problem getting women?
No.
And the first day that I met you, what did I say to you?
Can I say that on here?
You can say it. The first day that I met you, what did I say to you?
He asked me, did I give oral? I'll say that because he was a little more vulgar than.
Okay, so here's one thing I'll tell you guys right here, and this is the shit that pisses me off about mammies. Because why the fuck would you, as a married woman, come and have a conversation with a dusty bandit who would ask you if you give head at the first interview you're having with him? I mean, really fucking think about it. I want the mammies to sit down and think about my ADHD, poor attitude, piss poor attitude, head ass. And really think about if you should go and get the bandit you're thinking about getting to come and lambast me about my attitude or about how he's speaking about the Black community. April said that the man got picked on. Who's he fooling? Listen, Bruiser is, and I don't know if you're talking about Bruiser, but a lot of these dusties are affirmed by their wives. Does that mean that they don't know who they are? They know who they are. But they know that their wives or whoever are going to play a delusional game to save face. I will not. If I come home and I see your dusty ass sitting on the edge of the couch, ready to tell a story to the public and get up all in our business publicly, I might slice your neck. I might take you out. Man, nobody record that, but what are you doing? Gino said, I remember when Bruiser was Money Pill. Oh, he's had so many names. He talked about abortions. He talked about wombs. The man got picked on who he's fooling. We unlocked it. That's funny how you would tell his life story, and the fact of how you got your wife in the first place is weird in itself. But congratulations. Listen, some of these guys need that. They need that information to feel validated. We unlock. So for us, it might be like, what the fuck are you telling the world that? But for him, it's like, ooh, yes, a woman chose me. Gito says, why did he make his wife disrespect herself like that? Because he probably don't like her. He don't like himself either. So why wouldn't he? It's been said over numerous times that Anton doesn't respect his wife because of the things he said and done online. But I guess it's up for debate. Let's continue though.
That though.
Listen, Bruiser, I've been the same way since I was born, bro. The same way since I was born. Ain't never been different. Always talk the same way. My mother will tell you that I've been the same way since I was born. So, I mean, you know,
You know what?
Yeah, I'm sure Mama's gonna say you've been a dusty, so she done pushed you about her vagina. I'm sure. I'm sure she has no interest in trying to change you or show you a different way. Because some of y'all think you're going to exhaust your grandmas. No, man. Your grandma's gonna be like, "Oh yes, I love my grandson." Let your black ass get the fuck up out of their apartment, and then be like, "Oh, he's so stanky. I don't want his stanky ass over here," and leave you $2 in the will. Jill says, "Hey baby, come here and tell people how I thought you were a bop because I'm so play." Imagine some of these bandits will do that though. They will. April said it was just weird as hell that she even said, "Let alone he agreed," and encouraged her to say it to say it. That was not a flex on either part. No, it's not. It's not. Why would you want the internet to know that your wife doesn't respect herself enough to not let you talk to some hoe on the internet? I wouldn't. As a man, you should never admit that. You should never. You should say, "Yo, my wife's gonna be so mad. She's gonna get me. She's gonna drag me up out this bedroom." Never tell the internet that your wife is weak. That makes no sense. Makes none. Right? If that's the case. But let's continue.
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
But that's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is this, and they say it all the time, and it is absolutely true. The character of a man is tested when he gets resources. The character of a man is tested when he has everything, right? So even if it was true what you said, let's say I never could get a girl that had a pocket protector in my pocket and the whole 9 yards, and I'm cool with that, right? Because I don't think it's a badge of honor to sleep with a whole lot of women. I think the badge of honor is to have a level of dick discipline and to realize their value as a man. But let's just say hypothetically that that's true and I had a pocket protector, right? Then that would mean that once I started getting resources and attention, that would mean that I would start to break out and it would start to be a different story because that's not what I'm used to, right? So how am I able to maintain a level of character and civility, and how come?
Well, I'll say this, right? The culture. So we really still haven't really got into the crux of black culture and why it's so harmful to black people right now as it stands, right? Right? But the issue in the culture is that this is okay. That how it's being described that they're acting is not a problem. I'm gonna run it back about 15 seconds so we can understand what they're really trying to say. Because yes, I think some people get on here and will conflate parts of a language or something that they're saying that's inflammatory. Anton is just saying, I don't get on here and say flagrant things about how we should treat black women. So if they do that, that's on them, right? That's how he's trying to frame it. But let's hear the last or the previous 30 seconds before this.
Cool with that, right? Because I don't think it's a badge of honor to sleep with a whole lot of women. I think the badge of honor is to have a level of dick discipline and to realize their value as a man. But let's just say hypothetically that that's true and I had a pocket protector, right? Then that would mean that once I started getting resources and attention, that would mean that I would start to break out and it would start to be a different story because that's not what I'm used to, right? So how am I able to maintain a level of character and civility, and how come
being a coon?
How come my chick don't worry?
This is things that Anton Daniels and such won't tell you, right? Because telling you that they've become a coon to the extent that their wife can't speak out on their behalf, they have no personal freedom or autonomy, right? Their money is specifically controlled by a certain group. How do we get there if that was the case? I will say this: a lot of things get revealed to you over time, right? A cornball like Bruiser being named Money Pill probably didn't rub enough people the wrong way, right? But why would he name himself that, right? And then get on here and claim to be a father first, parent first, whatever. Let's continue though.
About me.
Bruiser.
Because you never switched up.
So
he remained consistent. And plus, he got once you, like you said, when you had the resources, you got a lot to lose. So that's when you really
exactly.
It's dudes that fumble every single day.
He value all his hard work and all the stuff he earned.
It's dudes that lose and fumble every single day.
But
and the woman has that intrinsic value that can't be replaced.
Oh, Mr. Let Go, God damn.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I think that more dudes should be nerds. I advocate for the nerds. I advocate for the dudes that's supposedly cornballs because, in my opinion, in other cultures, those are the dudes that celebrate it. We the only community of people that actually highlight the POSs. Let's just say that.
So here's my thing, right? And I'm going to say this because when I heard Anton Daniels specifically talk like this and say, "Oh, we're the specific community that highlights whatever," I got so mad, right? Because Anton Daniels is responsible for a number of very dusty platforms that exist online today, right? A lot of people will go ahead and say, right, that the reason why people like Team Fatty, Jay Prince, and all the Aaron O, all these channels, they're popular because of the influence that Anton had on the sector. Now, if Anton Daniels wanted to be a positive influence, he could have done that, right? But the fact that he, in particular, chose to reflect and highlight negative black people, do you guys think that that had an impact on how people viewed his channels? Now, he did also have several channels after that that were based. Sorry, guys. He did have. I meant to turn my camera off, but he did have several channels that were attached to ghetto infighting, right? But do you guys think those were things that were forced on him based off of what people wanted out of the culture, or was that a reality? Right? Do you guys think that's who he just was? Robin said, I heard Rita left Anton. I heard the same. But because I can't confirm any of this information, I just try to leave it alone. But yeah, I also heard that she left him. I also have seen him doing independent content of his own. That's just dusty. So I don't know what their relationship status is right now, but yeah, I hear that they're done. So while Anton Daniels is going to play dumb and act like he doesn't understand and benefit from making black people look bad, I'm going to show you guys, right? Because so many people get on here and talk about me. You married him, you dated him, you was with him, da. How dare you? Look at you, crusty, just like him because you was with him. So why is it that Anton Daniels gets to have created this beast, monster, dusty creature who thinks he's a valuable individual, but he gets to move on and become a millionaire YouTuber, quote unquote, with at the very least millions of views, all right? So we're going to bring it back because we know for a fact that Anton Daniels created the beast that many in this sector call Jay Prince for president. Let's get into it. April says, well, damn, if that's true about Anton and his wife, yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I've definitely heard it on several occasions on channels where people don't do that. So let's get into it.
Oh, Jay Prince is in the building.
Shout out to him.
What's
that,
up?
man? I need one of them glasses, man. My daughter, man, you know, this shit is pissing me off. Especially with the Lunchables, dog, when she was up there bullying that kid in that school with them Lunchables.
Tell them what you did when your daughter was bullying kids for Lunchables.
I said, oh, because I told she.
Okay, so Again, Robin says, "Oh Lord, not this." We're talking about a man who just got on a video, maybe 2 to 3 years after this, talking about how he feels like that Black people specifically highlight degeneracy within ourselves. Right now, let's look at his fat smirking ass while he talks to this human bedbug. All right.
Bully the kid for the lunchroom one day, and so I said, "You do that shit again, that's your ass." So I've been trying to think, but she kept bullying the kid. The teacher kept calling me. So is she eating? Like, yeah, the little motherfucker eating. I said, okay. I went to the grocery store. I went to the grocery store, got me a month worth of Lunchables. She ate Lunchables breakfast, lunch, dinner, and for a snack. And I took all the candies and shit and the juices. So I gave her little water bottles with her little meals. I made it real greasy too. And I took all the kids in her. We went to McDonald's. We went to all you can eat buffets. And I was her pack her a goddamn Lunchable to bring on the trip. I at least gave her 2 Lunchables, especially when we go all our place looking all good. And
So again, right? Dot said JP ain't shit but a big bed bug, right? He's not, definitely not, right? He's not worth even the shit that comes out of his ass, right? But look at smirking Anton Daniels there in the corner, right? Anton Daniels was he profited a lot from bringing this imagery on his channel, right? This imagery of Dusty J Prince for president. And the title of this video is Charleston White says Black people abandoned Kanye West. We're too powerful. And this is the conversations he's having with somebody who most of you today know as a degenerate. Right? He said this happened in Milwaukee on October 30th, 2022. You guys already saw the degenerate by that point. And the chat is talking about him getting fired on his day off from Chili's for being funky. I believe that. This man vehemently rejected a shower, soap, a bath. So yeah, let's get into it though.
slime any shit, her shit was those Lunchables. Anton, time Island Girl Q out for 20 minutes in the chat, please.
No, I can't time Island Girl Q out. That's our girl. We love Island Girl. What Island Girl do to you?
I love Island Girl Q because Island Girl Q don't love me.
What do you mean?
She don't. That girl really.
Why wouldn't Q love you?
Q do not love me.
I don't know, Jay Prince. I think Q rock with you, bro.
No, she don't. No, she don't. In time.
Q,
Island Girl Q. No, she don't. I often call her.
Can this be labeled as abuse of intellectually disabled individuals? Can this be that? Because honestly, I think it's so silly that someone like Anton Daniels will get online and support of people like Charlie Kirk and other bandits online, right? Who some who are dead and others who are not, right? How can he get online and talk about Charlie Kirk and others who fought for and against degeneracy, but then be the sole supporter of J Prince, right? Today, we know J Prince hasn't been getting paid millions or nothing like that, but it's been said that Anton Daniels was buying Christmas presents, paying electricity to be turned on, paying rent. Why would he be doing that for a black degenerate that he hates so much? Right? Let's get into it though.
Police were harassing on that motherfucker. Like, I was contemplating putting a restraining order.
I'm gonna be very selective.
She pops up. Look like here.
I'm gonna be
everywhere I go, she pops up.
The Q is our girl.
She got me kicked off the show by Lee's every time they bring me back. She pop up. Take me right down. And then
it's not her. It's the audience. The chat is the one.
No, that was Q. It was Q. She kept saying it.
Oh man, we love Q. Listen, I got a crazy show for you, Jay Prince.
What's up?
Let me say this. Let me preface this by saying, make sure. Listen, I don't usually say this on Jay Prince's show, but I'm gonna just say it right now. Make sure that y'all tap into the Patreon. The interview that I just did this weekend, I'm dropping it this week.
Yes, pay for Anton Daniels' take Patreon, where he interviews degenerates who are mentally ill and mentally slow, who don't know that they're being used for cash apps and Patreon memberships. Right? Continue to support a person, an individual like himself, who created the Millionaire Morning Show, right, via Fight Club, to get dusty degenerates to sign up for a program that they don't even have the money to pay into, really. Right? Because you had a lot of bandits come online and say, "Oh, I'm part of the Morning Show, Millionaire Morning Meetup," and it was a bunch of black people from Anton Daniels sector meeting up. Um, Gito said Jay Prince was humiliating his kids on camera. He had bad wedding issues, and he was humiliating her. CPS. Listen, Gito. The problem is CPS doesn't care, and I'm not going to continuously make all my streams about this Dusty, because he has a CPS worker who was more curious as to why I cared about his children than the behaviors that he was engaged in. Right? She was more curious about that. She was more willing to question, and from his perspective, I don't know if this is true, but she was more willing to question me than the fact that he has several children over the age of 6 years old who still have accidents. Right? But I'm not gonna get into all that. So please save that. But he definitely does. He vehemently humiliates his children online, and then people bring that to me. You know. Rama said he always is embarrassing his kids. His child is a 12-year-old at this point, right? So if you're showing her having accidents, looking not cute or anything on camera, that's you trying to embarrass your kids, because that's just the age. That's how things are. Kids start to be hyper aware of what they look like, right? But I don't believe that CPS has the resources to care. But I also find it funny that people like Anton Daniels, who get online and praise whites, their culture, and how perfect their culture is, also significantly contribute to the degenerate culture that we have amongst black people in this country. Now, give me a second, guys. I have to reopen the video of Anton that was just open. So give me a second. Okay, right here. That wasn't oh, it was the panel with thing. Hold on. Sorry guys. I have multiple tabs open and it got taken down for a second because I was trying to show you guys multiple. Robin said he was using her deodorant the other day. Yeah, he doesn't buy his own. He waits for people to donate to his child, and then he will use those things for himself. So let's get back into this, because again, like I said, Anton Daniels is one of the main people who talks so disgusting and negatively about black people, but he spent a significant amount of money encouraging Jay Prince to believe that he was a celebrity, helping his children, which is fine. You can do all of that. But letting this degenerate, mentally ill, alcoholic male with a significant criminal background believe that he's actually popular and that people are jealous of him, right? This is why Anton took off his hat, right? Because his big old bald, shiny, mean head was online just being so degenerate. So let's get into this because it paused exactly where we left off.
We love Q. Listen, I got a crazy show for you, Jay Prince.
What's up?
Let me say this. Let me preface this by saying, listen, I don't usually say this on Jay Prince's show, but I'm gonna just say it right now. Make sure that y'all tap into the Patreon. The interview that I just did this weekend, I'm dropping it this week. I'm dropping it as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, I might call off from corporate tomorrow just to edit this thing as fast as I possibly can. Personally, I'm not even gonna give it to my editors to edit. I'm gonna personally edit this one. Bro, listen. Charleston White, I'm gonna just say it right now. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm gonna just tell it like it is. Charleston White could quite possibly be one of the most revolutionary voices of today.
You see, again, this is the same man who said this. Let's get into some of the stupid shit this motherfucker is saying about Charlie Kirk, because it's so easy to get your big ball funky head ass up here and talk about how degenerate black people are and all this. Oh, you're so much better. You're the model minority. But let's hear what he says around people like Charlie Kirk, and then we'll come back to this interview of him with Jay Piss for president. Let's share this right here, guys.
Hey, black people, before you start, yes, Charlie Kirk got pew pew. This is not our fight. They literally kill us for less. Do not get on here talking about, and no, just because you don't agree with somebody politically means divide. Stop! Stop! Stop it. Because I've already started seeing it. Stop. Let the white folks deal with that shit. It was a white-on-white crime. This is not our time to be black saviors to these motherfucking devils.
And it's so funny to me that he's gonna weaponize what she's saying, but my problem with him is he's not acknowledging what she's saying here. What she's saying is that Charlie Kirk talked about black on black crime and the issues that black people suffered, but he died at the hands of a white man. I'm not gonna sit here and celebrate shit, right? Because I got a job that I want to keep. But the reality is, Charlie Kirk celebrated a disgusting amount of things that people didn't agree with, right? So people getting on here and saying, "Hey, this is white on white crime," right? Just like you talked about black issues and you called it black on black crime. That's not people speaking negatively on Charlie Kirk. That's just the reality of who he was, right? But let's continue.
Fuck! I've seen it 20 times. You get on my mother. Glocks and prayers to Charlie Kirk. Just a reminder that one of the reasons that he supports the gun laws the way that they are is because he thinks that there's the opportunity for good people with a gun to stop bad people with a gun. I'm just curious how that worked out for him at this event that he was at. Was the person with the gun a bad person? Because I didn't see any good people stopping them.
And I'm gonna just say this because I saw Jimmy Kimmel get taken off the air off some Charlie Kirk BS. How the fuck is a free speech advocate the reason why people don't have jobs? Like, let's be fucking real. Let's be real, America. How is somebody who advocated for free speech in their very, very short 30 years on Earth the reason why we start stripping Americans of free speech? Or is it possible that free speech doesn't really exist for everyone? Is it a theory? I just want to know, right? Because the whole thing that people love about Charlie was how he told it like it was. Black fathers need to stop abandoning their kids. Okay, so now they don't abandon their kids, then what? Are they gonna make those kids go to therapy? Are they gonna be healthy father figures in the family? It's still up for debate. Right? And that's why it's not just black people who are critiquing the things that he said, right? Because the things that he said had real life implications for people all over the world of all different colors. Right? And some people do feel like racial issues stood still, right, for us to deal with other issues. I don't feel that way, but some people do feel that way. Let's continue though.
I don't agree with anybody getting shot. That's a lie, actually. I think it sucks to get shot. Does it happen? Yes. Should it? Not to children. But seeing this whole...
And that's another subtlety, right? While we're all sitting here dancing, tapping, shaking, angry because Charlie is dead, right? Several children have passed away due to gun violence in, I believe it was California, Pennsylvania. Several people have passed away due to gun violence, not even children, grown adults. Right? So the world is still moving. But unfortunately, the most vulnerable people are at risk. And in this society that we're living in currently, that unfortunately includes children of all races, women, women of all races, unfortunately. Right? That's just the reality right now due to the circumstances. But let's continue. This is the same bandit who paid Jay Prince's bills for over a year, who made him believe he was a celebrity. Right? Let's see how he's going to deal with people who are not necessarily sad that Charlie is gone.
Whole discourse over Charlie Kirk getting shot at an event. You know, just a reminder too that he did say sometimes people are going to get shot. That's the loss we take with having such great gun law. I don't know. I think there's worse things happening in the world than Charlie Kirk getting shot by a gun that he voted to let that person have.
I'm telling you, these people are demons. Seriously. They are really demons. And again, I live by a creed, and there's a few things that I just stand on 100%. One of them being that I don't advocate for anybody to lose their life senselessly. And we got to really put this in perspective, right? Because Charlie Kirk was not somebody that was committing some crimes or doing something against kids or putting his hands on people or anything like that. Charlie Kirk died looking to have a conversation with people that thought differently than him.
And you know, I hear all of that, Anton, but who killed him? Who took away his ability to have conversations with young people and be revolutionary? Right? When we take these conversations, and again, he, like many other content creators, generalized it to the black community and how we dealt with Charlie Kirk. But from the video we see on screen, we know that's not true. So do you want us to keep our mouth entirely shut? Right? Or is there a certain way to do things? Gito said Charlie supported the Zionists. I have nothing nice to say about Zionists. He started to change his mind in the end when he saw how evil they actually were, but too late. That's what Candace said as well. Candace Owens, who spoke on him, she said the same thing, that his mentality was changing. Let's continue though.
So they are literally celebrating and talking about it's okay for a person to die because they had a political difference or ideology from a person.
Well, no, it's not okay to die, right? Because if they thought it was okay to be deceased because of this, whoever is saying, "Oh, well, he's dead," would have went out and enacted that violence themselves. But most of the people who are saying, "Oh, he's dead," it's not because they sought that out for him. Because that's your outcome, right? That's your karma. Some people are seeing and saying it that way. I can't say entirely that's how I feel, but I certainly understand people saying, "Oh, look, that's his karma. That's how the universe is dealing with his and his atoning his behavior." Right? That's definitely something that can be said. Let's continue though.
That they didn't even really know in real life. Most of these people did not know him in real life, never met him before. That's insane. As many people as I disagree with, I have never, ever, not even to a person that I would consider an enemy, I have never in my life wished death on an enemy or a person or an op or whatever it is that you want to frame it as or what you want to call it. The demonic energy, the negativity is wild, bro. And I don't think that it's going anywhere. I think.
So I don't want to make stark comparisons, but I just want to say this because, again, we're talking about two coins of the same bald bandit. Right? He's talking about people who were against Charlie Kirk, and he's even mentioning some things that, again, I believe he did. Right? So is Anton a hypocrite? Let's hear it.
One of the most significant voices in the black community and online today. I'm going to play a clip from the interview, and then the clip is also going to drop on my channel immediately after that. On the ping tell flagged it. There's no reason for it to be flagged because I edited stuff on that.
Let us feel more
that they'll be just like us. They'll be just like us, getting jobs, working warehouses and all that shit too. They had a helping hand. They didn't do this on their own. Everybody helped them. Don't nobody help us.
Jay Prince, what do you think so far?
And this is the thing, April, what I'm going to say here. April said, I didn't even know who this man was until everyone started talking about him. He didn't deserve that, but I'm not going out of my way to think about that man. That's how I feel about it as well, right? Charlie Kirk wasn't an important figure to me. As a millennial in our 30s, he means nothing to me. So no, I wasn't worried about him. I wasn't sad or mad or happy even that he passed away. Right? It was simply news. But there are a lot of people now, today, who don't want anybody to have an opinion about Charlie Kirk, which is so strange. So strange. Now, again, I'm showing you guys this to show you, how is Anton Daniels a moral character in the black community to chastise us about Charlie Kirk, but he brought regular, dusty figures into the community like Charleston White and Jay Prince for president, two of which both have continued on to receive more charges and be described as more degenerate than what we originally thought they were. Charleston White receiving charges that ultimately he's fighting still. Same goes for Jay Piss for president. All right, let's continue though.
Before I play the full clip.
So far, he might be on to something, but this thing when we talk about helping, like, we got too much pride in our community to ask the people who we consider that we fighting against to help us.
I'm gonna keep playing it, and then I want to get your thoughts. The link is in the description for joining the Patreon.
Every now and then that white boy give us some government entitlements, but that's to keep us under. Give white people back food stamps, welfare, their free education. We homeschool our own kids, but we get the funding out of their free public educational school system. Take your monies out the banks and go put it into something else in Haiti and some resources in Haiti ground. Takes rappers forfeit on all they
I'm dropping it in the Patreon this week, ladies and gentlemen.
And you know the thing about people like Charleston White is, like, they're gonna highlight the few times that he says something mildly sensible, right? He doesn't have to be a good role model or a good influence, right? They're going to take pieces of what he said and glamorize it because it's so much easier to do things that way. It's so much easier to get amongst black people and tell them how degenerate they are, while you are literally responsible for the most degenerate parts that we're viewing online, at least. Right? It's very easy. Let's continue though.
That's right. I think black people are showing white people that we'll forever be their slaves, and if they want to, we'll voluntarily go back to slavery. And this is why I say this. We ask to stand up to white folks all the time. We beg to stand up to white folks. Nick Cannon got on a platform and said the same thing that Kanye
He
said.
did.
Guess what they did? They grabbed his ass by his shirt. They even made him denounce Farrakhan. They even made Nick Cannon denounce Farrakhan and say he was a bad, hateful person. So that's one. They tarred and feathered. DC Young Fly and them back on the platform now. They bowed down. DC Young Fly claimed, well, I wouldn't take it. Y'all all bow down. Get off the show, period. Come over here on your own app and start your own. Fuck them.
Yeah. You know that's what I'm building, right?
So now we got Yee, a billionaire. A billionaire who we watch come up out of Chicago. Not only that, the only who I've ever seen advocate for Larry Hoover to be free.
That's true.
The only entertainer I ever seen advocate for Larry Hoover to be free. Lil Durk ain't done it. So here go Yee. He stand up. We all saying, yeah, he right. But boy, when they grab that baddest, that's always been a tactic. You take the baddest, bring him out in front of all the slaves, and you tie him up and you whoop him, 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 and you keep whooping him in front of all these slaves. This y'all baddest one, y'all richest one, he gonna stand up to us, and we all sit there and watch. Don't nobody join in. No salute.
I'm just so sick of all of the black emotional imagery that people use against black people all the time. Right? Charleston White and his affiliates definitely being one of them, right? Because why would someone like Anton Daniels want black people to believe that the establishment isn't going to let them succeed, right? Gito said Larry Hoover, the drug lord. They're not even paying attention to what he's really saying. Look how they're both like just silent, like as if he's preaching. The same Anton Daniels who just got online to lambast black people for their culture and the negative things that we accept. Right? Before we continue with his little fake pro-black speech, let's go back to what he's saying today about how people should be um dealing with this Charlie Kirk situation. Let's continue.
I think it's here to stay. I think it's always been here. You see it from time to time. You've seen it when it came to people trying to assassinate Trump last year. You've seen it when it came to the United Healthcare Group CEO, and you've seen what people's true colors are. I'm not even sure, like at first, when I first started getting this type of stuff and people were sending me all of these videos, I wasn't even like, I didn't know how to take it, because I'm like, man, do people really think like this? Is this really a thing? Do they really believe it? Or are they just chasing clout for the internet or whatever? But now that it's starting to set in, and now that I start to see people make their informed content, and I realize it's really not that bad of a thing, because now I get to really see, like, when stuff like this happens, the event itself was bad. It was negative. But then the other part of it is that it's starting to be a blessing, because you can then uncover exactly what it is that you're dealing with, and it puts you on more of an edge, right? It gives you a higher alert. It makes sure that you won't on your P's and Q's, and that you're aware that, wait a minute, everybody is not for you. You know what I'm saying? Some people are demonic. Some people do want, because see, at this point, it's not Republican versus Democrat. It's not liberal versus conservative. It's good versus evil.
Shot by a gun that he voted to let that person have.
I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of creators who I very much admire and respect, and whose views typically align with mine, saying that, well, Charlie Kirk is a hateful piece of shit, but no family should have to endure the loss of this, blah, blah, blah. And I simply do not have it in me to extend empathy to this type of person anymore. And I don't know what that says about me. And I frankly don't really, if I'm saying this right now so that you can understand who I have become, and understand that I do have much empathy in my heart for many people, but there is a level of hatefulness that certain people, and I'm not even saying the entire right, but there are certain factions of the right, there's a level of hatred and violence that they not only accept but seem to appreciate. That when it comes knocking on their door, I have no empathy for that. So I'm sharing this with you now so that you can make the decision. I have no anger. If you decide that you don't want to follow me anymore, that's okay.
Yeah, for me, this is like we're living in very, very, very strange times, right? Where a lot of people are getting their opinions about black culture, about what we believe about blacks and things like that from the internet, right? So the fact that Anton Daniels is, on the one hand, able to get on here and act like he's Charlie Kirk's left nuts cousin, right? He's also able to get on here and try to make these sort of like moral arguments about like, oh, these evil liberals and black people, they just hate Charlie Kirk so badly, and they have no legitimate reason. When kind of what Charlie talked about was the things Anton did, right? Was encourage degenerate males to share their opinions online and supporting degenerate males who don't value the lives of the women that they have children with, right? Like a Jay Piss for president and Charleston White. Let's continue though.
Celebrity, no entertainer, Jay-Z punk ass turned on him. They whooping him. They whooping. They putting them lashes on his back. Then he find out, Toby, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They still whooping him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They still whooping him. And he's still saying, I'm sorry. They won't stop whooping him. And we ain't said that's enough. We ain't stood up and said, fuck y'all. That's enough. We ain't playing no more basketball. We ain't doing nothing no more. Because we can all come together and shake our dick at them if we want to. We can really hurt the Jews. Because we still niggas. They ain't in this position no more. We can really hurt them. They rely on us. They kids eat off us now. Let us go to, let's have an economical war with the Jews and see who win. I bet we beat them. I bet they apologize.
Now, I don't know when this video was released, but did they have to block out the term Jews in the first video that was released? I don't know. Right? But what I'll say this is that over time, Anton Daniels went from being one of these dusty freedom fighters that creates an anti-black channel, right, to becoming somebody who is Charlie Kirk's biggest advocate. Right now, in between that time, he's also gone to Fox News and talked about black fatigue. Right? He regularly makes videos talking about black women and their attitudes. Right? Let's get into some more from Anton because it's so strange to me. You know, it's so strange to me how he acts, but then gets online and talks about black culture and where things are at with black people. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Let's continue with this one here, and I have a clip for after.
If we you know me in real life and you want to distance yourself, so be it. That's just where I am right now. I have endured decades of empathy for people who have never given empathy to those who deserve it most, who have time and time again
They don't even know what they
chosen to step over
just
people
saying stuff.
who are on
Literally
the ground
just saying
begging
stuff.
for help, literally and figuratively. And it has caused a bit of a soul death in me. Not an entire.
Listen to what they saying. This is not our words. Listen to what she just said. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna go back 10 seconds.
Literally and figuratively. And it has caused a bit of a soul death in me.
That's not my words. It's straight out of the horse's mouth. Their souls are dead. Their eyes are evil. They have nothing that they can give to society that would, and you know what I'm saying? Nobody is asking. I guess where is this coming from? Like, who's asking for their empathy? Nobody is asking for your empathy. I am actually glad that people are showing themselves and telling on themselves.
Now here, Anton, here's the problem. You can't ask for our empathy for a man who didn't believe empathy was real. Right? This is the real hypocrisy with Anton and people like himself who get online and actually associate themselves with black culture more than the reverse, right? Black culture is not going to get on here and claim Anton Daniels. But Anton Daniels will absolutely get online and talk about how he is connected to black culture and how he's a representation of it, right? And create multiple disparaging imagery of it. So, anyways, let's continue.
Social media has been beneficial in that way, and that it allows for people to reveal exactly who they are and what their hand is and how they're going to move and what this is going to look like for them going forward. I'm not complaining whatsoever. She said her soul is dead. It's a soul death. If it is the power of life and death is in the tongue, and what's in the heart, what's in your heart, and what's in your soul, it comes out to the light. And so these people are dead in the inside. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to go low with them?
Not an entire soul death, but there's a piece of it that is gone.
And not an entire one.
I
Okay.
have limited empathy now, and I reserve it for the people who I love and care about, and for the people who have nothing in this world and who need someone for them. And Charlie Kirk and his family do not qualify.
And his family. And his family.
And you know, the sad part thing, the sad part, and the reason why I'm going to highlight this as the sad part is because Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, all these different black people who've died and who've left behind family who till today still has no justice, right? They want us to not care about any of that, but get up and run and stand because this white man is dead. And now I'm going to give you guys another example of that, right? The baby. The baby, for many reasons, people can say, oh, he's bringing it up because the woman was deleted in his town. He feels like, he has to speak on it because of his town. I don't think so, right? I think the baby spoke on a community that he wasn't allowed to speak on. He made a statement that the community that he spoke on didn't like, and so they got rid of him, right? And now because he wants to make his way back into the culture, I do think that that is why he made a whole song about a white woman being deleted, but he hasn't made any music about how the police have targeted innocent people or any of the real, true injustices that black people face that have nothing to do with the crime that some are purposefully engaging in. I find it so weird. I find it so weird how they use black figures in media and entertainment to get us to care more. I'm not saying I don't care about the woman from the Ukraine who was deleted on the train. I don't. But why is it that these rappers who are afraid to speak about black issues suddenly become so vocal when it comes to other groups of people? Right? There's a little bit more going on with that. I don't know exactly what it is. Right? But why is it that we heard this before we heard other things? All right, let's continue.
They want to make sure they throw that in there too. Are y'all listening? Are y'all paying attention?
Baby, I'm gonna let you know something. What they did to that man in Utah is exactly how them people in Palestine was getting dealt with. I ain't gonna play around with you. Them little kids in Palestine had stuff like that happen to them. Let alone big kabooms landing on top of hospitals and stuff like that. It's unfortunate that that happened to that man, but guess what? People are fed up. People are tired of the Trump administration here in America. Farmers are losing their land. They're losing their crops. They're doing huge deportations, taking people off the job. Nobody to replace or fill these jobs. Oh yeah, Donald Trump ruined America. The sheriff right there. Donald Trump ruined America in just a matter of months with his little slimy, grimy executive orders. He ruined America. Yeah. Yep. He ruined America and don't want to release him Jeffrey Epstein.
And it's so interesting because, like other conservatives, right? Anton Daniels is going to focus on some extreme people in whatever political party that he's going against. He's not really focusing on the major issues, right? And that's where people in certain political parties win, right? Because when they do talk about issues in their party, they're not using that as an excuse not to focus on other things that might be more triggering or more mainstream, right? Instead of talking about what people are saying about Charlie Kirk, he's going to start talking about the negative opinions that he feels black people shouldn't even be able to have, be allowed to have, right? That's why when she starts sharing her opinions, or when liberals, quote unquote, share their opinions, he looks at them or talks about them like they're stupid, right? Let's continue. There's only about like less than a minute left in this one.
Files, but guess what? Why we keep asking him to release these files? We already know if he's not gonna release them. You know his name is the first person on the top of the list, and you know that 100%.
Ain't it funny? I find it so funny that why didn't they release the files during the Biden administration's 4 years? Don't worry, I'm not going to deep dive into it.
I'm pretty sure that the Epstein files and everything weren't even completed until when Trump was in office. Now, if somebody can show me proof that that had actually nothing to do with him being in office and it was just released at a random time, okay, I'll stand corrected. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff only came rolling out when Trump was president. So trying to bring Biden into it and his crackhead son, for what reason? I don't know. All right, let's continue.
Just want to give y'all a glimpse of what's to come, what you need to gird up against, and how you need to prepare yourself because you are battling not just a war based off of what's happening, what you can see with your eyes, but spirituality, principality. These people are evil. They are truly evil in their heart, and they are broken in the inside. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Tap into the Millionaire Morning Show tomorrow.
All right, so
I think we can all agree that triangulation.
Sorry, we'll definitely talk about this channel as well, guys, when we get into some more of the psychological reviews that we're going to be doing. But you know, that was Anton. Anton is one black bandit who gets online and sort of uses black culture against black people, weaponizes it, and things like that. But let's also go into these feminist versus men's rights jubilee, right? And the reason why I want to bring this one up because I really don't think that a lot of black people understand, right? That the reason why there's a lot of negativity amongst the communities because there's a lot of black men, black people who have these opinions about things that we believe, right? They don't believe that black women should encourage women to have women's rights or to advocate for women, right? They believe, oh, the sisterhood is ruining the community. Women want to keep each other single, the community, right? When really a strong community is made up by groups and coalitions of women, right? But anyways, let's get into this stream here, guys, where this man, or sorry, Pearly Fish takes on 100 bandits. Not 100, but Pearly Fish jumps in when men's rights activists are talking to feminists. All right, so let's hear some of these talking points. And again, just for those of you who are unaware, black women were some of the biggest first wave feminists. So when I hear people relating or trying to relate black women's fighting for women's rights and things like that as a secondary thing that they learned from white women, I actually get really insulted and disgusted. So let's get into this. Do me a favor, guys. If you haven't already and you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button, engage in the chat for me, contribute to the show in any way that you can, whether that's via comment, share, any of that. I'll greatly appreciate it. All right, so this is the men's rights activists versus feminists on Jubilee.
Okay, let me.
My problem with this is that this ignores the negative male culture that contributes to this mindset as well. Right? When you make it, oh, it's existential, it's not really something that men are experiencing, you're downplaying what men are experiencing, right? What they're experiencing amongst each other, what they're intaking from the culture, right? So I really didn't like this intro to it, but let's continue.
It says,
and this is where, for me, things start to get a little weird, right? Because if you can understand that the world is being run by men, why is it that you're still clinging to the ideology of men? That's harmful, right? And you're acknowledging that it's harmful. But let's continue. I feel like some of these women are trying to straddle the fence, and because they don't want to take a definitive stance, they'll sometimes take pieces from what each person is saying. All right, and then try to blend it together into their own definition, which I don't agree with. Whatever you're feeling at the moment isn't going to change in 5 to 10 minutes. Or the idea that women are born with their value, right? Meaning, oh, you have a womb, you have a coochie, so you're born with your value, right? That idea comes from a male-centered ideology as well, right? Because me simply having autonomy over my body is what? The same thing a male has, right? So if suddenly I don't have that anymore, then it's something I have to ask permission for, right? That is a right that I'm losing. I just realized that this is a knitted shirt that you can see through, and I'm a little disappointed. But let's continue. Yeah, and guys, I'm so sorry to do this. Not only to stop here, but also to postpone this stream because I really want to get into a lot of this, right? I think it's hard to have these types of conversations when you're focused on a general conversation about degenerate culture. One of the things that bothers me the most about degenerate culture, especially that which I see the most in the black community, is how dismissive things become on a gender base. Right? If I raise daughters and sons, I do not want any of my daughters or sons thinking that men or women don't have rights. I don't want any of that. I don't want my sons thinking that the only right they have is to worship the feet of a woman who doesn't treat them right. Because I do think worshiping a woman isn't a bad thing if you're treating them right. But if you're worshiping them out of vanity, it's a bad thing. And also the reverse. Right? But I think a lot of times we have these conversations about worthiness without getting into depth about what's being said here. And like that man just said here, the one who's by himself as a woman's rights activist who's a man, right? Is that a lot of the times it's a response. So when men get online and talk about how they care about giving men game and making sure they get healthy relationships, they're lying. Right? Other men and other people in the community have probably seen different, right? But it's easy to get on these panels and say one thing versus the other. All right. So before I get too deep in this Jubilee conversation, guys, I did want to send you off. I'm going to do part 2 either Friday night or later in the weekend, but I'm definitely going to cover the rest of this because I don't think it's easy to have a conversation about degenerative black culture in one video. One, because there's so many views of what degenerative looks like today, but I also want to make sure that I'm staying on brand with what and how black people feel about the culture and what parts of it are negative. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today, for your likes, for your shares. If you guys can continue to like the video and subscribe to the channel, I'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lana Love, for being a member for 10 months. She's a bandit capturer, and she says hello. Hello, Lana Love. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you're just getting here as the video is ending, do me a favor and catch the playback for me. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the comment section. I'll appreciate it so, so much. Otherwise, I'm going to send you guys off with some music, and I'll see you on the next stream, all right? Thank you, guys.
Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora. She's got that power. blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong she can't bear. She's setting us all free, unstoppable flora. She's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.